Hey there, I'm Shaun from Wise, and I'm doing a technology training for a really innovative school district, South Kitsap. Check them out if you're interested. And like most technology trainings and honestly uses of technology in our field of supported employment and special education, mine are usually based on iPads. Why is this? Well, Apple's been in the touchscreen business for the longest, out of Windows, Android, and others. And they simply have the best software available at this point. So what's the downside? The Apple system's closed, meaning that Apple stuff works really well on Apple. And if you have a Windows computer or an Android phone, too bad. Also, iPads are expensive, anywhere from $300 to $900. So the barrier is real and it exists. The district had an interesting question for me. They shared that they could probably afford maybe 2 iPads per classroom. But since a lot of Washington State testing is now done on Chromebooks, the schools are drowning in these little computers. They're everywhere. So what's a Chromebook? Here's one. These are little computers that run from $140 to $999. Chrome operating system is made by Google and it literally just runs a Chrome web browser. And that's it. Special education administrators wanted to know how these machines can be used in special education and support employment. I looked around and there wasn't much available on the web, so I decided to get one and try it out myself. Here's what I got. This is the Asus Chromebook Flip. It was just released. It's got an 10-hour battery life and a 180-degree hinging screen. It's also a touchscreen. In addition to this, I also got this little phone. It's called the Motorola G. This is about a year old. Costs about $50. You can get a brand new one for $150, and that one's water resistant. And honestly, it's one of the best phones on the market. So for the price of the lowest cost iPad, I have a laptop and a phone. Does this work for the needs of special education and supported employment? Let's find out. So when you first open the Chromebook, you're going to be prompted to enter in a Google address or a Google account. I made one up. I called this guy Clark Kent just for the sake of demonstration and assessment. And I also logged in with the same account on this guy on the phone. And one thing that's nice about Android phones and Google accounts is that you can have multiple logins under one account. So like I think this phone right here has, it has a Wise account and it has the Clark Kent account. On this Chromebook here we have Wise and then my personal account and then the Clark account there. So the first thing that I want to show you is social stories and social schedules and video portfolios. And so these are some of the most powerful tools that we have at helping people represent themselves successfully out in the community and also increase predictability and help communicate in a visual way what somebody's going to be doing. So I've saved these social stories under Google Slides, which is similar to PowerPoint. And actually you can upload PowerPoints onto here, or you could just use PowerPoints, as you can use PowerPoint in a web browser now. So we've got a number of different social stories. So this is one, and I want to point out that all these pictures were taken on this phone, and then since it's the same account, we were able to synchronize them pretty easily. So this is one for a guy that let's imagine somebody who hasn't been able to get out of the house for a while. So we use this social story to give him an idea of what we're going to be doing when we get to the house. So Jimmy goes to Starbucks. My name is Jimmy, and I'll go to Starbucks with my job coach Julie after breakfast. First I'll have breakfast, then Julie and Shaun will take me outside. I'll get in Julie's car. We'll drive to Starbucks close to my house. First we'll walk around the parking lot. Then we'll walk inside Walmart and walk around. When we're done walking, I'll get a cookie. I'll get back in Julie's car. Then we'll go home. Let's look at a different one. So this is one, let's say somebody is, their part of their job is to go to the post office. So again, I made this with the phone over here, all the same pictures, which I think is a pretty compelling feature. There's a lot of autonomy in there if somebody can take their own pictures and make their own support system. So instead of having the teacher or the support professional have to go in and do everything behind the scenes, if somebody is set up with a system like this, they could have both the computer and the phone and be taking the pictures themselves, and ultimately the goal would be for them to make their own assessment tools, or I'm sorry, not assessment tools, but their own accommodations. So here's one for going to the post office, get envelopes and stamps, put stamps on envelope and check addresses. You might notice these are all parking tickets because I work in downtown Seattle and this is now a monthly expense for me. Open maps on your phone, search for walking instructions, walk to the mailbox. Oh, and by the way, this is the map program that would come with this phone over here. It's pretty easy to use. Put mail in the mailbox, walk home, get yourself a cookie on your way home. I want to point out that since these are connected accounts, this is all available on the little device too. So if you were set up with this type of system, you could use it on this laptop, or you could be using on your phone. Let's go back to slides. I showed you what social stories and social, what some of these schedules can look like, but I also wanted to show you what a portfolio could look like. So this is a type of tool that you would use to help somebody represent themselves at an interview, and they're pretty powerful. I think it would probably work best in presentation mode like this. What's so powerful about this is that I think it's really easy, especially in supported employment and especially with internships set up with schools, to have the teacher or the paraeducator or the support professional, the job coach, be doing all the talking. If you could set up a portfolio and you could help that person represent themselves in the interview, then the job coach can just take a step back and it will really be a conversation between the person being supported and the person interviewing. So this is one that I did not make it with this phone, but this is one that I did with somebody I used to work with, and they gave me permission to use this portfolio, I think partially because they liked it so much. All these color choices, this was a template that, that Matthew decided. Life is delicious. That's a picture of him smiling. Some work experience. He makes these awesome food. And I don't think he would ever talk about alligator tail manicotti if he was without prompting. But the fact that this was here next to him in the interview, the interviewer could read it and then ask him questions about it. And that's in fact what happened. And I believe it was this alligator conversation that ended up getting him the job. Some pictures of him working. I think it's also pretty cool to be able to offer some videos. And since this is a Google product, Google owns YouTube, it's really easy to put videos embedded into the presentation. So here is a video of him multitasking. These are 4 different steps that he has to do all together. Some more experience. Yeah, so I mean, just cool stuff here. So pretty compelling product to be able to use social stories, be able to use schedules, but there's more this machine can do. I wanted to find a communication application, some way to help people communicate their needs. And this is something that we find a lot with people who experience problem behavior. So I'm working with a guy right now who, whenever he needs redirection, he goes to his job coach and just yanks that job coach's finger really, really hard. And what we figured out was that whenever he yanks his job coach's finger really, really hard and hurts his job coach, he's immediately redirected to what he's supposed to be doing. So with an augmentative communication application, you can replace those problem behaviors with functional communication. So here's one that I made for Clark if he was going to be going to the post office. So you push play here, and
1 sheet of stamps, please. How much does it cost?
This is fully programmable.
In our box. Thanks. Have a great day.
Yeah. This is a general one that, and I mean, these things took all of 5 minutes to set up.
Hello. How are you? Grumpy. What do I need to do today? I'm all finished with my work. I need a break, please. Tall Americano, please.
That last one was for me. Is this the best AAC application? No, it's not. My favorite one is done by Gus Communications. It's called Talk Tablet. It costs about $80. You can get it on Android. You can get it on iPhone. It's going to be coming to Windows in the next couple weeks. It's not available for Chromebook yet. I just talked to the developer, and they're going to be working on getting it. It's not there yet. But this is a free application, and it does the basics of what we need. All right, so what's the conclusion? Can a Chromebook replace an iPad? I mean, I still think the iPad's better for a lot of different situations. Like I said, the software is just that much more diverse. There's so much more that you can do. But for basic stuff, writing a schedule, writing a social story, having an augmentative communication program, the Chromebook can do it. If it's true that the school districts really are drowning in these machines, then I think we've shown that there's no excuse for someone not to have a technology solution if a technology solution is what they need to succeed and be independent. That said, I don't think the technology needs to be in place for everybody. I don't think it's the type of thing that now everybody needs to go out and have a social story. Everyone needs to have a schedule. But if they need it, the capability is there with the machines that they have. You don't need to have a touchscreen Chromebook. You don't need to have a touchscreen. You don't need to have a touchscreen in the first place. I mean, you could start on paper. I usually start most of my technology assessments on paper. But you also don't need something that flips over like this. If the school that you work with only has this little piece of a Chromebook that's $150, it's just this basic laptop, you can do everything that I showed you today, except maybe you won't be able to touch the screen. So if you enjoyed this, I'm going to follow up with a couple more videos that show in depth how to design the different accommodation strategies that I showed here. If you were using a Chromebook in support employment or special education in a unique way, I'd love to hear about it. And let's just get the conversation going here. Because I think that really we're going to see so much change in the next couple years around access to technology and technological solutions. So the people that we support, the people that we work with, and the people that we live with in our community are going to be able to be as independent as anybody else. So good luck. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.